In 2019, DAPP Zambia started the Human Rights in Correctional Facilities project to support the rehabilitation of inmates and improve their reintegration back into communities. Funded by the European Union, the project is implemented in 6 adult facilities and 3 juvenile-approved schools across Zambia, working with more than 1,600 inmates. One of the ways the correctional facilities rehabilitate inmates is through support of academic learning and vocational skills training by improving rehabilitation infrastructure, learning systems and programs in the facilities. The project has provided vocational skills training equipment in Serenge and 8 other facilities. Namata Mayumbelo, Deputy Commissioner at Correctional Services Headquarters, says changes have taken place since 2016 when Correctional Services rebranded from being called prisons to Correctional Services.
The shift meant, which I think you all know, that it meant a shift from punitive model to correction model. In the punitive model, meant that when one is incarcerated, one was really meant to be punished until one is lawfully discharged from the facility. But under correction model, when one is incarcerated in a facility, it means correcting that person, rehabilitating that person, changing that person from an offender, a person who breaks the law in whichever way, to a law-abiding citizen.
Barbara Bikoko, Human Rights in Correctional Facilities Project Grant Administrator, gives an overview of the project.
The project aims at improving the welfare of inmates as well as supporting systems in ensuring that incarcerated persons actualize their rights as human beings. In this project, we operate in 9 districts, namely Mansa, Samfya, in Mpika, Chinsali, and then Serenge and Mukushi. Then we have 3 districts where we have juvenile approved schools. That is in Katombora, Kazungola district, and we have Insakwe in Dola district, and we have Nakambala in Mazabuka district. So in all these, the key issues are to ensure that we support the facilities through our very appreciated partners in establishing facilities that are able to provide strong systems for rehabilitation and reintegration back into the community. We believe that through such systems, we are able to ensure that the rate of reoffending reduces, hence ensuring that the purpose for rehabilitating these inmates in the first place is actualized.
At all 9 facilities under the project, it has built or rehabilitated buildings which function as vocational skills workshops and academic learning spaces. The project has further supported literacy classes at the facilities.
The time that DAPP came in, they built us a very big infrastructure there, where we have desks which we didn't have, the building itself, the body itself, there desks where our children are learning comfortably. Yes, the machinery of these skills. Otherwise, it has really improved that you can see how people are being helped. We are trying our best that we help our inmates to be rehabilitated, that as they go out there, they have got new backgrounds where they have to base on. Someone who didn't know how to read should go there with that knowledge of reading. Someone who did not have any skill to stand with him in that life, will have where to start with because of that skill. someone who didn't know how to cultivate any crop in life or to have that knowledge of that, they will have to study something with that knowledge.
An inmate who sat for his grade 9 exams whilst in an adult facility talks about his aspirations and also shares how useful learning has been to him and others.
Fingi efe batutitereko ababuteko pano pa serenje efe ture chitafa ma inmates tature ikala fie ko batinga fire bifungo chari kale kako bati ba ma inmates bali bateka fie ture bombe mirimo eshare kana ture kuma skulu ba ma skills bare chayo ko ba materialing eso ndetasha sana nene kabiri futi nene ninkwata hope yako batinga nafume chifungo apana arafuma nkayetwarire skulu nkayetampa grade 10 pakuba tiri skulu nene nkapushe buno rimbichina isaba ko rimbi teacher na bako rimbi even nangwina ngira ko ya mkanso kaidi these days na wakanso barefu ama paper so ngana kwata kufina ngwichi paper cha grade 9 nakwata ko nature 12 kutina bo mbench to eri yonse pakuba tina nene na survive ra muno ruporondi nene wene kuchira firefe yakoba tiyo na reposa sana nshita kuno bwarwa ma group influence filo kulasango mu manchenda ayashuwe ma ayareshiwa.
While incarcerated inmates learn vocational skills meant to help them start up income-generating activities once they are released from the facilities. Through the provision of equipment and machinery to these facilities, the project has increased the number of vocational skills available to the inmates, with each inmate choosing their own. Vocational skills training include tailoring, carpentry, bricklaying, and general agriculture.
Chalenga tube kono twalikotemira ndo kubantu echalenga batureteko although twalikotemira ndo bati tumona kwati bare tushupa ero twashirefe pa fest bati twawesa kono batusambira fintu fingi fyapusana kutira muri DAPP na baserenje Correctional Facility twalisambira kuri garden nga cabbage muno muno motoli twalisambira fya kwikara n'abantu kai turekara abantu abapusana abashita understand yabanabo abate mufya kurandaranda bati mwanse bari tusambira fya kwikara n'abantu nangu twafuma konso ku bantu abengi kwa abapusana na kwena nishina tushwe kwikara n'abantu dimo tatwaishibe abengi tatwaishibe kuri makwati cabbage so twashibe fyo kwangala bamo kupepa okunwa na fimbi urubuli lelo twaisa kuno twasambirira nangu twakonse takuli iyo nshite yakunwa kupepa urubuli takuli kaina tusambirira mu kusangire mpia kati kuli mama garden fina makabeji na fimbi ngeko twachuma kuma wanyoni nefya pusana kwali bane skuru ngawo ikwata interest ku skuru mbara tubwekisha ku skuru fina so that nangu wafuma kunse wayakonkanyapo.
Reoffending of former inmates in the country is rampant and puts a continuous strain on the correctional services due to overcrowding, depletes national resources, and has a general negative impact on society. The Human Rights in Correctional Facilities Project's interventions support facilities in preparing inmates for the reintegration into their communities. This is done through community engagement in collaboration with the Facility Offender Management Unit and the Social Welfare Office. The project has identified community volunteers called champions, some of whom are former inmates themselves, to spearhead actions and community sensitization to stop stigma and discrimination against former inmates. They also encourage families to welcome former inmates back into the families and greater community.
The rehabilitation of inmates so far is going very well because we've been going around to meet their families, sensitizing the community on how to receive these ex-inmates, and even on that it has also reduced on the recidivism. Under DAPP EU support. We managed to have tailoring machines, we managed to have furnitures, we managed to have a lot even for garden, carpentry tools, everything, and that has helped us a lot in achieving our goals as a facility.
To support former inmates in income-generating activities after their discharge, the project has established cooperatives and provided various forms of empowerment through which they work together along with other members of the public to generate income.
This program has helped inmates not to reoffend because we also formed cooperative under DAPP. And these cooperatives, whenever the inmate is discharged, the inmate is being linked to the cooperative where he or she is coming from. So this has reduced the inmates or people out there to be recidivists or coming back to the prison because they have something to do out there.
In Serenge's Makopa area, a cooperative comprising of former inmates and non-former inmates show us the garden they started with support from the project and goats they are rearing after raising money from maize farming.
Balikwatako n'embushishi ekiri pilo kwe bati buyantanshi bwesu bukiri buli abuletwalirira telombo kumono okutila support yabapo ikala mputa twakwata ku embushishingi twakabiri twakwata ko n'engumba pamapene n'ekukutira nutrition twakwata okuyipusha mu kyalo kyesu kya Zambia na mu community yesu ya Makopa pamapene okwata efi akuli efingi ekyo nga former inmates kairi punch time inenga champion tulemono okutila discrimination eryo twabika pofye naye tulera ndokutila stigma twafikwisha mukatika community yesu twabombera pamoja abakalamba ba mu community filolo pamopene nama edman eryo tapopeka nama churches nguta support program twetotera ba DAPP twetera obuyantanshi kuchende yesu ino ya Makopa pamonga kabungwe kesu aka natwamba multipurpose cooperative society. Imbushi twafunishe after twashitisha amataba ayali 22 emo twafunishe olupia lwa kumwe twashita ku embushishiri 5 pakutira nangula mukuchirapo pakumwe kutira twakwata development twafunishe muku busomboshi kwa amatobo twakwetu obuli 42 ero 15 twapele ku bantu banesu kama members mu cooperative then 5 twalisunga ayakwe muno kwatira ero tulebombo mulimo twakwata okulyako so panuma ya icho twashitisha amataba ya 3696 twashirefunyapo 2500 ukushita mwembu shiputira shirete ko buyantanshi kuchende yesu monga cooperative amaplani yantukwete eri okabiri mu emulala imbushesu so tuleka bilo okufuntula chikulwa chesu chabe chikalamba pakumono okutila imbushesu shakwata kwikala umusuma eri otiapo peke imbushesu ngashapaka tuleka bilo kumono okutila at least future plan yotukwete yakumono okutila chila muntu akwata kwembushi kutila kumwa kusangira karusangu chila muntu alekwata ero tiapo peka ngatwakumanisha okwata embushi ishingi sana twakabira kumono kuti twakwata engombe ishakutwafwako mu bulimi bwesu kuti bulimi bwesu na bwena wabo bakufundira pamunga cooperative yesu ndemo nekyo ekimono kikalambe kitukwete pamunga cooperative.
The project has worked closely with local traditional leadership to support outreach programs in the communities that sensitize members of the public against stigma and discrimination against former inmates.
Lelo twalipokelela programu abafungwa ilio mufungwa umolimbi apanga mistake nangula alufyanya mu community ilio asendwa no kuya kubuteko kutya bwaya bwamusungako ero nomba ilio asavinga imyaka iyo ubuteko bwaya mupela kulya kwena ilio abwela kwena tulesa mukumupokelela pantu inshi abo umuntungwa bamo kunuma ilio i program tayayishire ilio abwela kuda kubafungwa bale moneka kwatilimbi twale taramuka na bena kwatilimbi twale tontonka no kutira nakayiri limbi turemu kankamba okutya yuta tulingire okubana kwesenge pamula ndwa kutira alika kwapo nomba twalemu n'okutira awo abana bena bantungwa panti naye akitwatiriti kujja ku buteeko pakuba okuba ti iryo abwera kulya twalemu palamika pakutira twabapamo nakwe pakuba okuba ti twale bafiirishako n'okutira awe kumona mistake yo apangire elo n'okutira twale bafiirishako n'okubafunda okutira awe mune ifita ulingire okubwekisha panti obuteeko bwalikana. So mpaka nabena mpaka kyasukwa bakimono kutira kashi nabena bali abantungwa ilio ba saving emyaka kulya okutira tatulita tupata pali umupaka nabena abafungwa na ifwefwe bashabapo abafungwa ilio nomba tubombela pamo elo twasukwa twakwata na cooperative ile itu okutira na twambe mwamakopa mpaka twabana bena pamo tubombela pamo kaitulanshanisha chapamo ntio tulina abofye chapamo nabambi abashira akakulwa nabenanga bakakulwa nabena tulabapalamisha tukabapalamisha nabeno kuti tube pamo pakuti yalimbi ilya mistake yo bapangire tababwekeshe polibiri bakwe bati twabombera chapamo okuinga na community nokutwala community pantanshi.
It is important that former inmates are welcomed with open arms so that they do not reoffend and can be useful members of the community. We go to a house of a former inmate where his family explained the change they have seen in him since he left the correctional facility and how they welcomed him back home and how he is using the skills he learned in the facility under the EU DAPP project.
Lintu bafumire mu prison twali bapokerera fye bwino ero after bafuma bali tampo kulima garden amaonyonyi amarepu na matomatoes so inefo ndetotera kuri ba DAPP panto lyabali muri ati bade sambira ko ifintu ifingi kuri ba DAPP bali sambira ko tailoring and then bade sambira ko nifine fya gardening so apepo bafuma nimbona ko ka change ufo bali before tabala ya kuri ku prison kuri na sana ko nefo bali apa nomba mkwai
kuna chilinga totera ko na kuri ba DAPP na totera pa mafunde yonse bale tukambisha muri apa ntu natu yasunga andi twasunga twasasunga twafunya ko nakunse twasa mukuwa bumpu ya bomfya kubulimi no kuya never tunga isunga no rupalo eso twekala shani nyifi so ichipo chako bati mano batupere efwa kwa no mwaka ndefwa ngwate ko nchenda tisinangu kawano ekitaka kutani no tomato na onion kwa kutira epo tulefunya amaka akutira twe support abana.
Serenje Correctional Facility Officer in Charge, John Hamaimbo, explains some of the outreach services where they talk to the families of former inmates to prepare them to receive the inmates back home. He also talks about the importance of reconciliation between the inmate and the victims and how it helps with reintegration back into the community.
We are very much aware that these people, they offended outside there. Some within their own families, some with the neighbors and anyone outside there. So we have really realized that these people, though we try our best to rehabilitate them from here, they go out there with whatever they will go with, maybe knowledge, whatever. But we really realize that there they still have enemies, so to say, of which they might not have that harmony where they can at least live well. Now, to harmonize the situation outside there, we try our best, especially through the office of extension officers or maybe offender managers there, and of course with the help of the DAPP personnel. Yes, we have offered ourselves or involved ourselves to send these officers there time and again to follow up where they offended their family and whoever is there, to try to reconcile, to bring these two families together, to look into the issue of reconciling, forgiving each other, to understand that this one is a human being. And when we talk to these people, at times we manage even to bring those people in here so that we sit them down with the offenders, of course our enemies in here, so that they reconcile. We do these things in a very good atmosphere, that the one who offended realizes that it happens is a human being, and the offender himself to understand that it's not like that. So we put them together until they forgive each other. It really brings the harmony. Yes, otherwise even these inmates, the time when they will go outside there, they are really welcomed.
In juvenile reintegration, the project, through its support towards vocational skills, has facilitated income-generating activities towards the upkeep at juvenile facilities. Upon their discharge, the project has also provided starter packs to 207 juveniles to support their reintegration back into their communities.
The European Union support through DAPP have been very helpful at the Katombola Reformatory School. They've been helping us, or helped the institution there, in terms of education and skills training. On the education aspect, they've been helping learners or juveniles or lads in terms of provision of learning materials such as books, uniforms, and other liquids that are required for one to be at school. So they tend to supplement the school needs in terms of academic provision in that school. Then when it comes to skills, they've been very helpful in 3 major skills: general agriculture, metal fabrication and welding, and tailoring and designing. In these skills, they provide training materials which helps the training to go smoothly before they can attempt to do TVET exams. Then the same material that they provide, we make products. Those products that are made, they are sold to the general populace or community through what we call a Katombola shopping outlet. When you enter just at Katombola, 7 kilometers before you reach, there's a shop there known as Katombola Shopping Outlet, where these products are exhibited and sold to the general populace. And the general populace order their specific orders which are made or manufactured into the workshops. Then on the academic path, those who excel, exceeding from grade 12 going upward, the DAPP has been very helpful in terms of providing college provision. We have 4 lads that are pursuing primary education as teachers, where they are taught on how to adopt in a rural setting. So that process helps the children reintegrate quickly and settle into the community and start contributing to the well-being of the nation in terms of academic provision in schools. Then at the end of it, when we release some lads, the European Union has been supporting the best 4 children in each program, starter packs. So meaning that there are starter packs provision in each program, in tailoring, as well as metal fab, as well as general agriculture.
Deputy Commissioner Namata Mayumbelo says partnerships are needed to improve the work of the correctional services. She also acknowledges the work of EU and DAPP and wishes for the continuation of the support as the Zambia Correctional Facilities strives to improve the rehabilitation of inmates and their reintegration back into society.
So we are involving the partners to come on board to complement the government efforts. The government is doing a lot, but partners come in to complement the efforts of the government in various ways, and we have a good number of partners that are on board, one of them being DAPP. So for us to manage that, we need support from partners like DAPP and other stakeholders that we have in the country. And from the time DAPP started working with us, we have benefited a lot as the Zambia Correctional Service in terms of collaborating, sharing responsibilities Inmates equally have benefited a lot because most of them have gone back with skills that made them not to reoffend again because they are able to sustain themselves. As I earlier said, change takes time to complete. From 2016, it has been an ongoing improvement, and up to now we are still improving, which means we still need partners to come on board.
Deputy Commissioner Mayumbelo says inmates should enjoy their human rights just as anybody else, and that the academic qualifications they get while incarcerated are just as valid and can enable them compete with anybody in society.
We also follow the general goal of the government, not leaving anyone behind. So to us, this goal means that inmates are also human beings, and they are part of the government goal not to leave anyone behind. So they enjoy most of the rights outsiders are enjoying. For example, inmates undergo a number of skills, and they are tested by TVETA, which tests even the outsider who are not incarcerated. And the certificate that is given to inmates is just the same certificate that is given to an outsider. It's not written Zambia Correctional Service or anything like that. So meaning that a former inmate can compete with an outsider using the same certificate.
Barbara Bikoko, Human Rights in Correctional Facilities Project Grant Administrator, says reducing reoffending has been a key achievement of the project.
The key issue is about reducing the rate of reoffending of inmates. And in the past 3 years that we have operated in this project, we have seen through our midterm evaluation a reduction in 6 adult facilities where we had a rate of 35% recidivism, which has now gone down to 21% in those facilities. So this is very notable for us as it has served its purpose as intended.